All right, let's talk about something that sounds like science fiction, but might be happening to you right this second. The topic is light, biology, and what some are calling the code of evolution. We're going to explore a really wild idea, one that could totally change how you see light, your own body, and maybe even the story of humanity. So here it is, the big question. Is light rewriting your biology right now? I know, it sounds a little out there, but this is the core idea of a really fascinating scientific model we're looking at today. The whole premise is that the light you're soaking up, it isn't just passive energy. No, it's sending active, living signals deep, deep inside you, and it's influencing everything. I mean, everything, from your tiniest cells right down to the code in your DNA. And look, this isn't just some wild, made-up idea. Get a load of this quote from Dr. Joseph Delaney. He says, "Human evolution can be understood as the progressive reorganization of a light-informed control architecture." Whoa. Basically, he's saying our whole evolution is the story of us becoming better and better at using light as information. It's like we're these incredibly complex biological computers, and the light around us is constantly updating our software. So, how on earth could that actually work? Let's start breaking it down. Okay, first things first, to really get this, we have to kind of shift our thinking. We're used to thinking of light as just, well, energy, right? For warmth, for vision. But in this model, that's only part of the story. The key idea here is that light is a carrier of biological information. So, how does this information get into us? Well, the model says our bodies have three main doorways for light. You've got the two you'd expect, of course, the skin, which is our biggest organ, and our eyes. But then there's a third one, a much more subtle idea, called the biofield. So let's talk about how this actually works on a molecular level. Your skin and eyes are just packed with these amazing little molecules called chromophores. The best way to think of them is like tiny biological solar panels. They're designed to catch photons of light, and when they do, bam, they convert that light energy into a biochemical signal. And that one little signal kicks off this huge chain reaction deep inside your cells. Okay, now for that third one, the biofield. Now, this is definitely a more theoretical concept, not something you can see or touch, but it's absolutely crucial to this whole model. The idea is to imagine an energy and information field that actually surrounds your physical body, kind of like a super sensitive antenna. It's thought to be our very first point of contact with light, the outermost layer of this whole information gathering system. Okay, so our body is taking in all this information from light. But then what? I mean, how does a signal that starts on your skin get all the way to, say, your liver or even your bones? It's a long way to go. Well, the model has a really cool answer: a dedicated internal information highway. And what is this highway made of? You might have heard of it. It's our fascia. That's the amazing web of connective tissue that literally holds us together. It wraps around every single muscle, every organ, every cell. And here's the kicker, the part that makes it all work. Fascia has these incredible properties. It's piezoelectric and semiconductive. What does that mean? It means it can create and carry electrical signals when it's squeezed or stretched. It basically acts like a body-wide biological fiber optic network. And it gets even more interesting. Within this massive fascial web, the model suggests that those meridian lines, from traditional Chinese medicine and acupuncture, aren't just some abstract idea. They're thought to be actual physical superhighways, specific pathways that are especially good at conducting light and electrical charge with very little loss. They're the express lanes on our internal information highway. Okay, so every highway needs an engine, right? So what's powering this whole system? The answer comes from a really cool field of physics called, get ready for it, magnetohydrodynamics, or MHD for short. I know, it's a mouthful, but the basic idea is actually pretty simple. You have conductive fluids in your body, like your blood. As that fluid moves through the body's own magnetic fields, it naturally generates electric currents. And that, right there, is the engine that keeps the signals flowing through the whole system. So let's just pull all that together for a second. You've got the fascia, which forms the physical grid. You've got the meridians acting as the superhighways, the preferred pathways. You've got MHD physics acting as the engine that drives the signal flow. And then you have the cranial nerves, which are like these super high-speed data ports, plugging this entire body-wide network right into your brain. It's an incredibly elegant and complete system for getting information from light to every part of you. Okay, so we've got this amazing system for taking in light info and sending it all over the body. But so what? Where's it all going? What's the final destination? Well, this information isn't just floating around for fun. It has a very specific and absolutely crucial target: our cells. And even more specifically, our stem cells, and our very own DNA. Now, it's really important to understand that sunlight kind of has two very different personalities. You could think of it as a challenge and a support system all in one. On one side, you've got UV light. That's the challenge. It can cause DNA damage, it creates stress, and it forces our cells to either adapt or die out. That's a huge driver for evolution. But then on the other side, you've got red and near-infrared light. That's the support. It actually boosts the energy in our mitochondria and helps our stem cells with repair. It's this beautiful dance between a stress signal and a healing signal. And this is where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. That supportive light, the red and near-infrared, it doesn't just help out. It can actually change which of your genes get expressed. This is the amazing field of epigenetics. We're talking about light literally flipping switches on your DNA, these things called epigenetic marks, and telling your stem cells which genes to turn on and which to turn off. It's guiding how they repair you, how they regenerate your tissues. It's literally like light is delivering a software update for your biological operating system. Okay, so let's recap. We have information coming in, a network to send it everywhere, and a direct effect on our DNA. That is a lot to manage, right? So how does the body handle all this complexity without getting completely overwhelmed? Well, you guessed it, the model has an answer for that too. A really elegant control system that ties the whole shebang together. This control system is called Distributed Adaptive Control, or DAC for short. And the best way to think about it again is like your body's central operating system. It's a model with 4 distinct layers, and it explains how we take in all this information from the world, especially from light, and use it to adapt and make choices, from things we don't even notice to the choices we make every day. Let's quickly walk through these 4 layers from the bottom up. Layer 1 is the somatic layer. This is pure physics, a photon of light hitting a cell. Simple. Layer 2 is the reactive layer. This is where your instant reflexes live. Think about your pupils shrinking in the sun. You don't think about it, it just happens. Layer 3 is the adaptive layer. This is for long-term learning and changes. Things like our circadian rhythms, or how our bodies adjust to winter versus summer. And finally, at the very top, you have layer 4, the contextual layer. This is us. This is our conscious mind making choices, like deciding, hey, I'm going to go outside and get some morning sun, or choosing to use something like light therapy. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the way we take in light, the high-speed network that distributes it, the way it talks to our DNA, and this amazing 4-layered control system, it paints a pretty radical new picture. We're not just talking about our day-to-day biology anymore. We're talking about a new way to look at our entire evolutionary story. Because from this point of view, evolution stops looking like it's just about random mutations and survival of the fittest. It also looks like a story of the constant, deliberate refinement of this light information loop. Think about it. We went from the simplest little light-sensing cells to our insanely complex eyes and brains. We have just gotten better and better and better at processing light as pure information. And this model even gives us a scientific way to think about a concept you usually hear about in more spiritual circles, the idea of ascension. In this framework, ascension isn't some mystical, floaty thing. It's interpreted as the process of making that light information loop more coherent, more efficient. It's about us consciously taking part in our own biological regulation, moving from just being passive buckets for sunlight to becoming active drivers of our own biology. Which, of course, leaves us with one last, pretty big thought to chew on. If any of this is even close to being right, it means the very fabric of who we are is literally woven from light. And if that's true, the big question isn't just what is light doing to me anymore. The real question becomes, what am I choosing to do with the light? So, how consciously will you choose to live in it?